This is Thomas Wake with Astro Wake. We're going to do an introduction to astrology. For a more in-depth look at the planets, I invite you to go to my other videos. We're going to start off with the 4 elements. First one being fire. It's a masculine element, and these are in order of their appearance. The next is earth. That's the glyph for earth. One of them. And then we have fire, earth, air. And then finally, water. H2O, baby. Now, this is masculine, feminine, positive, negative. Masculine, fatherly, energetic, fire and air. Earth and water, feminine. So we're going to take these 4 elements and then we're going to express them in 3 different modalities. The way that we get them to come through. These are going to be cardinal, that start off our spring months. Fixed, which is the middle season. And then mutable, which is the end of a season. Cardinal, busting out the gate. Fixed, solidarity, solidness. Mutable, fluctuation. Fire is an energy of activeness. Earth is an element of solidness, earthliness, maternalness, caring. Fire, passion, drive, energy. Earth, comfortableness. Air is a realm of mentality, of thoughts, of communication, technology. Water, the feminine element of emotions and feelings, care, concern. When we take our 4 elements to our 3 modalities, the 4 times 3 gives us 12. These are our 12 zodiacal signs, my friends. The 12 tribes of Israel, my friends. The 12 apostles of Christ, my friends. The 12-petaled lotus leaf of the heart chakra, my friends. Okay, this is fire. Spirit. This is earth and water. The negative. See, it's a negative sign together with the positive, we have a plus. These are our 4 archangels, angles. And with this is the trip of the sun. This is a familiar sign, the cross. This is the cardinal cross. This is the cardinal season. Spring, summer, fall as we fall, winter as we rise. Now we take the 4 elements to our 3 modalities. This is what your natal chart will look like. This is the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. I don't know if I'll see tomorrow. Starting off, this is the equator. This is the meridian where we have our solstices. Winter solstice, summer solstice, spring equinox, fall equinox, where things are equal. Equinox night. Equal light and night. Aries, the ram, the Passover lamb of God, because we passed over from winter and we spring up into April, March. Ap means to open. March, we have Mars as the ruler. So we have that fiery, starting a new project. The great I am is the motto of the Aries. Here I am, charging forward with the spring of my step, in charge of the top of your head, the crown chakra. When you looked up, we talked about that in my other videos about the Taurus bull. Before that, we have the Aries glyph, which brings us to the next sign. And this is cardinal fire ruled by Mars. Next we go to fixed earth, Taurus bull, ruled by Venus. This is I have, I value. This is the motto of the Taurian, ruled by Venus. Beautiful Venetian energy. Venus in Taurus, fixed. Cardinal, fixed. Bring us to our next house, which is, these are each called houses. The first house, I am. Second, I have. Third house, I relate as the Gemini, who's in charge of air and mutable air. So this is, the ruler is Mercury, all about communications with your brothers, your sisters, your immediate family, or close circle of friends, short distance trips, emails, communication. The Gemini mind is the twins, Castor and Pollux, in the constellation. Here we have the bull of Aldebaran is the fixed star in there, which is in the bull's eye. It's red. That's where we get the bull's eye, and we say that's the center of our universe. Following the Taurus in the sky, we go fire, earth, air, water. And the first water sign is Cancer at the top of the summer solstice. June 21st, June 22nd, where the sun is at its highest part, where we're the longest day of the year. And now, the ruler of this is the moon. This is our fourth house, in charge of how we were mothered, our relationship with our mother, our maternalness, our home and our home country, and the home kind of groups that you belong to, your nation, nationalism, patriotism, your political party, ruled by the beautiful moon of emotions. And it's cardinal, so the Cancerian energy is coming up with new ways, initiating new ways to feel about things. They're the baby. These are the baby signs. They're so cute. You just want to cuddle them. And then we go from the moon to the sun in Leo. In the fifth house. The fifth house is about children, creativity, entertainment. How we entertain, what we're entertained by. Acting, being on the stage, expressing yourself. Fixed fire, being warmth. This is the crown chakra. If we go to Taurus, which is the bull, which is the throat and the mouth, in charge of eating. They eat a lot, Tauruses. They're known to just love to eat. The senses are in charge of this, the five senses of Venus. The five-pointed star is the star of Venus, in charge of our five senses. That's the rotation that she makes. Also, Sirius, the dog star, Sirius also has the 5-pointed star as its logo. Moving forward, we have the Gemini, which is in charge of our the duplicity, our two hands, our lungs, or two lungs. Our central nervous system is ruled by Mercury, the messenger, who works our electrical system through our nervous system. That's in charge, one thing Mercury's in charge of. The moon, the crab of Cancer, is our ribs that protect our heart. It looks like a rib. It looks like a crab. It's also the sacred scarab of Egypt, and it turned into the crab, and we call it Cancer because it's an attack on the divine feminine. Also the breasts. When you see the Virgin Mary breastfeeding, that's a Cancerian image of Isis, the feminine, the sacred feminine. Hence we have a war on Isis and a war on Terra, Earth, our feminine aspects. Now we go to the 6th house. 5th house is also creative projects because it's children, but like when you have a creative project, that's like a child, something you create. The 6th house is of like your daily work regimen, your health, your habits, your work environment. And this is, we got Mercury coming back on the scene. We had him first in air, now we have him in earth. Virgo, feminine Virgo. You'll never get what, there's the M for Maria. Mary, Virgin Mary. The constellation, she's holding a shape of wheat. This is harvest time. This is in September, Virgo season. September 11th is when we had the sacrifice in virgins. That's why we like to sacrifice virgins in Virgo season. The dark occult, sickening. Oh, let's go back to the light. We go into, and this is mutable earth. Mutable earth, that's what you're jumping around in the earth. Mercury, mutable air, jumping around in the air. Hermes Trismegistus, Egyptian god Thoth. Next we go to 7, Libra. And we have Venus coming back into the scene. But now she's doing it in air. And she's doing it in cardinal air. So she's expressing, and it's actually a he, it's a masculine energy. You'll see Archangel Michael has the scales in his hand, the scales of Libra. And it's got a sword of justice. Lady Justice has the scales. There's the scales on the, when they're even, on the equilateral equinox. They're ruled by Venus. So we have the sensual love, but for like communication and air. So talking, initiating conversations, meeting people, being a matchmaker. The 7th house is about marriage. You're making a legal freaking bind with somebody. You know who's exalted? This is the home areas of these planets. Then each one of these houses with these signs have a planet that's exalted in there. Here in Libra, Saturn is exalted because he loves to be the judge. Next we go communications, legal contracts, marriage. Also like just communications, judges, anything legal, lawyers. There's more to that. You go on about these houses forever. Next we go to our 8th house of October. It's not the 10th month. They messed that up. And September is in the 7th house, not the 9th. Okay, we have Scorpio, who reaches up. He's got the Virgo crushing the head. And then we have the scales of the cherubim, the fiery flaming sword of the cherubim to keep us out of the garden of Eden, which is spring and summer. And then we have the fall of Scorpio, who gave the kiss of death to the sun for 30 pieces of silver. Each one of these degrees is made up of 30. 30 times 12 gets us our 360-degree circle that we're in here. Cycle. Okay. In our 8th house, we have this ruled by Mars. Currently, it's ruled by Pluto. So we have Mars, instead of being active out into fire, male land, we get it into the feminine, water, emotional, psychiatric, psychological world. And we have Pluto, who's the great recycler. It takes you into the underworld, but ultimately, so you rise up like a fiery phoenix. The eagle is also the Scorpio. And the 8th house is about death and rebirth, sex. The 8th house, Scorpio, is ruling the genitalia. The hips are the equal part of Libra. So now 8th house is other people's money, getting money from like when somebody dies, death, oil, digging for oil, scorpionic thing, digging for diamonds, scorpionic thing. Actually, like deep drilling off the coast, like that's a Scorpio thing. They get deep and they can be a little bit intense, but it's a powerful sign. We got Mars in the water, Marina, Mary of the sea. And it's also the eagle, the American eagle. It's also the phoenix as it rises from its own ashes. It's our 9th house of fire. So this is fixed water, so that's why it's so deep. So cardinal fixed, now we're going to a mutable sign. And now we're coming out of water, so we start over with fire. So that brings us to Sagittarius, mutable fire. The ruler of it is Jupiter. And it's the archer. It's the philosopher, the house of higher learning, higher degrees, foreign trips. Jupiter expands, experience, the guru kind of energy. That's in the 9th house. And the Sagittarian is known for being philosophical and a visionary. The psychic gift of the Sagittarius is like seeing visions. Each one of these signs have different psychic gifts. I'll go through that in another video. But it's very closely tied to the elements. Now to the 10th house. We have Saturn on the scene, if you know what I mean. The ruler of the underworld. Here we have fire in the underworld, Sagittarius. There we have a cold Saturn in the underworld. That's why hell is both hot and cold. Well, Saturn is cold. It's all the way across from the sun, but it links up to the moon, which is part of our moon matrix, which is part of the Milky Way, how we get in here. Goes through there. The 10th house is about career, being a master, a grand architect, a boss, big, I almost said big dick energy, but I hate that. We got Saturn, Satan, the contractor, as opposed to Jupiter, the expander. We have Saturn, the contractor. His color's black. I think it used to be our sun. I talk about that in other videos. It's who the dark occult likes to really channel their energy, the dark side of it, which is being a master over somebody else. He's here to help us to master ourselves, so we're not over expanding in our sensual world. Saturn comes and he's called the accuser, Jupiter, think of Jupiter as like pleading for you in court. And Saturn is the one who's accusing you. But he's doing it for your own ascension. It's the goat, grace of all times, working to the top of the mountain. When they really come into their higher vibration, they become a great host. That's why it's used as a scapegoat in Abrahamic religions. Jesus was born December 25th, the winter solstice, the darkest day of the year. Makes him a Capricorn because he was used as a scapegoat for the sins of people towards Azazel, as was sacrificed by the priest Aaron. All right, moving forward. This is the house of career, your status in society, how you're seen, your legacy. Why the goat would be there. 11. We have Aquarius, the age that we're stepping into, because it goes this way on the bigger clock that we're inside, which is the slippage of the ecliptic. Okay, so the 11th house, Saturn is Earth, and it's cardinal Earth, because it's starting off new projects. It's the grand architect and builder, master mason. The G stands for grand architect, which is Saturn in masonry. Moving on. He's like the great disciple, the great discipline, because he teaches us discipline. That's where we get disciple from. Ruler of the crown chakra, really. Got to break that crown. Chronos, Father Time. In charge of this whole wheel of samsara. You want to become friends with him so you can break through him and escape this wheel ultimately. We're coming back to, we have Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius as well. Here's the 3 months of winter, the 3 signs of darkness, the 3 days that the sun was dead, and then he rose on the 3rd day. The Passover lamb sacrificed. When the sun goes there, it's consumed by the fire. Here in Aquarius, the 11th house is about these first houses, you. These last 6 houses, others. That's why the first one to come up is marriage. The 8th house is also your in-laws, just a funny side note. Okay. But to the 11th house, we have air and we have fixed air. The opposite of the Leo, the Lion of Judah in summer on his throne. It's exalted, the sun's exalted in Aries. Now the ruler of, traditionally of Aquarius was Saturn. But then his father came in, Uranus. And Uranus is going to, supposedly they say he rules for the first part of it, and then Saturn takes over at the next part. Aquarius is all about they're unique, even though they're humanitarian, which is so cool. Forward thinking, it could lack emotions a little bit and be a little bit mechanical. They're into technology often, and really exciting to be moving into that time. But also things like AI, and then things like melding together with like Terminator 2 is very Aquarian as well. If things go bad, let's hope they don't. Because the bad side of Saturn, he's ruling over you. And then when Uranus comes there, it's ruling over you with technology. So let's wake up to this. And we really have to work on free speech. Okay. So 11th house is about like the communities that you're a part of. It's also about receiving your money from the 10th house. That's kind of Vedic. This is Western tropical astrology. Vedic is similar, but some differences. Now here we have the 12th house. The 12th house, Pisces. Mutable, water. Fixed Aquariuses, they could just they're hard to change their mind. They could be stubborn in the way that they think. They could be set on something mentally, and you can't change their mind. The other fixed sign that squares it, a 90-degree angle is a square, is freaking Scorpio, and they could be stubborn in their emotions, and they could never get over something if you hurt them. Poor things. And you could talk about these signs forever, but this is just introduction. Okay, so we go Pisces. I keep on writing the glyph on the inside. Pisces ruled traditionally by Jupiter, but then how Saturn came in, Uranus came in with Saturn when it was discovered. Now we have Neptune coming in to help out with Pisces. Mutable water, the world of emotions, mutable in them, changing, fluctuating, up, down, out, in. But mostly they spend a lot of time with their emotions kind of out. Scorpio's the one who goes in with their emotions more. That 12th house is about endings, things that are hidden, prison, death, but not Scorpio this is like a nice death. That's a difficult one, Scorpio. In Pisces, we have a great, beautiful imagination, a love for music and water. I know that's cliche. The frickin' fish. They could be pretty emotionally out there. Now you're going to have the planets. These planets are going to be in different houses in this chart. So if we have Mercury, who is usually in the air of the earth. Now if we put Mercury in Pisces, which would be his fall, Mercury's lost at sea. So if you have that in your natal chart, you're going to want to see what sign it is in, what house is it in. Okay, Mercury in the 12th house. Mercury's how you think, so its mind is going to be on 12th house stuff. It could be a little bit depressing, or it could have a great imaginative quality. Both of them probably. We have to learn how to bring them together. So I hope this serves as a nice introduction to astrology. Thomas Wake signing out. Oh, book a reading. We'll go through your natal chart. And also, I need money.